It's about nothing but the time. Bama blitz.
Give me Alabama to break.
It's when somebody takes what's yours, and this is our game. It's our game. This guy's trying to take it back. So that makes this shit personal.
Yep. It was awfully personal last night, afternoon, whatever you want to call it. JT here tonight, guys. L's up, like my boy JB showing. Chat tapping in real quick. It's going to be some haters in there tonight. We're going to need the Bama Nation to stand up, knock them haters off tonight, because we know they're going to be in the comments. But we here, face up, ready to talk about it. We got my man Wes with us tonight right here. Wes, I want to introduce yourself real quick and what you got going on over there, man, and to kind of what you ready for tonight.
Yeah, so what's up? Thanks for inviting me on. It's a pleasure to be on here. My name's Wes, and I created and co-host a SEC football podcast called Pigskins and Pageantry. Obviously, you see my background. I'm a Georgia fan, but I also have two other people. We have a Bama fan on there, and we have a Tennessee fan on there. We're kind of a catch-all for SEC football. So we love to have guests on. We're trying to have people from as many different fandoms as possible, just to sort of learn traditions and different things about the different schools, different teams, traditions, and all that. So thanks for inviting me. I'm excited. I'm not here to talk smack. Obviously, we have our own humility to go around. So just happy to be here and glad to talk football.
Oh, man, love that, Wes. Love that, Wes. Chat, show Wes some love. Marshall, how we doing tonight, brother?
To be dead honest, I'm sad. Like overall disappointment, sad. Like you said it right before we stopped on. I think I probably got an hour of sleep in the past 24 hours. Like, oh my God, I am sad. Like,
Stephen M. Smith, how we doing tonight, brother?
I'm just happy I'm alive. Okay, like I'm in Las Vegas. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. Like, I was in high-speed chase, police following me and everything, wrecks going on. I had to get Ray to calm down. Like, my head did not hit the pillow until almost 2:30 this morning. So, I'm heated. I'm still heated.
Hold up. I don't do this a lot, but to go off topic real quick, Daniel in the comments, now y'all know how it feels as well as New Mexico State. No, Vandy is not New Mexico State. And real quick, I'm going to say this real quick so everybody's clear. We did not lose to the worst team in the SEC because we have yet to play Auburn yet. So put that in your mouth and take that one to you, because the worst team in SEC is Auburn. Vandy is better. Hands down, I don't care. Argue with your mama. All right? I'll get that out there first. JB, how we doing tonight, brother?
Hey, man, I'm good. What's up, fellas? What's up, chat? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, JB. Y'all know, man, a lot of people want to know how I feel. I didn't really talk about the game a lot last night because I, myself, prematurely tweeted out that Bama was not going to lose to no damn Vanderbilt. I told everybody to chill out because we were getting nervous, and then it came back to bite me in the ass. It came back to bite me in the ass, and they cooked me on social. But I stood on business. I stood on business, and I'm here tonight. And I'm in good spirits. So before we move on to talk about this, make sure you guys get you a title towel because I'm still repping the Tide. Always repping the Tide. Go to WhitWillSports.com. Use the promo code STANDARDS to get you a nice discount courtesy of your favorite Bama network, the Bama Standards.
Yes, sir. And also, guys, for our main sponsor, which is Workspace Solutions. If your business needs a digital presence, a full-fledged marketing team, a SEO, and more, they're who you need to contact today, guys, right here at the bottom, workspacepros.com. So, to kick off tonight, we hitting a recap. And as the host of the show, I normally pass the mic around a little bit. I'm probably going to spice up these topics when I hand them to y'all tonight because I've digested this loss, now, and I've thought about it more. And the more you think about it, the number one spot, obviously, this year is cursed. I'm telling y'all. And I didn't want to be number one. I didn't want to be it. I think that number 1 spot is cursed. We're going to chill at 7 right here and let us ride out and get good. Put our head down, mind our own business, and we need to get better like last year because that's what Bama did. We chilled at 7 and 8 last year for most of the year, jumped up. Also, Bama fans, slow down on some of the crucial of like, oh, the playoffs this, playoffs that. Keep in mind, if Bama even slips one and doesn't go to the SEC championship, and Bama has, 2 losses, we'll still be in that, 5, 6, 7, 8 combo around there. I'm telling you. We'll still be in there, which guess what? We host a home playoff game if that is what happens. So, Stephen M. Smith, I'm going to let you lead us off tonight. We're going to let JB go, and then our guest, Mr. West, and then Marshall will round us out. Recap last night, man. And also, before I pass it to you, I want to play out one stat, and we're going to run on with everybody. I want to hear this from everybody. Alabama's time of possession was 17 minutes and 52 seconds. Vandy's time of possession was 42 minutes and 8 seconds. Stephen M. Smith, wrap your head around that for me.
Okay. So I know there was somebody in the comment section that said, Stephen M., you lied to us. You said the defense was going to play well.
You lied.
I didn't lie to nobody. I didn't lie to a soul. That's on the coaching staff. That ain't on me. I ain't on no staff. Now, could I have done the deacon chair and called the plays myself? Heck yeah. But I didn't do that. I'm not on no staff. So I didn't lie to nobody. But what I did say from the very first, before the kickoff, I'm on the field for the kickoff. And Vanderbilt had this defensive back, number 6, who was barking and jawing at every Alabama player when they came out the tunnel. That number 6 had everybody on Bama scared for death. That was Vanderbilt's version of Tony Brown. He literally came out the tunnel barking at every single Alabama player. The coach that you blame, of course, it's a team loss. But the coach that you look at and go, what in the world? Kane Wommack. What in the world? Kane! What in the world, man? You cannot. Every 3rd and 8 plus that Vandy had, they got. This was not 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2. This was 3rd and 8.
Stephen M. Smith. 26 first downs. They had 26 first downs to our 16 and 17.
They were 12 of 18.
Yes.
12 of 18 on
Wow.
3rd down. They were 4 of 4 in the red area.
Yeah, I was about to say that too.
And here's the thing. I don't know if y'all saw this. Diego Pavia was bouncing around like he owned the freaking joint. Diego Pavia literally, but before the game was saying, we want Bama, we want this game, we can take them, we gonna take them, Bama ain't nothing to us. Diego Pavia, during the game, talking all the smack he want to talk, and he backed it up. Diego Pavia, after the game, we knew we were going to take him. All week long, we were talking. If we ain't talking about beating Bama, get the blank out of here. We beating Bama. Like, they made it personal. And Vandy came out like, we want all the smoke. We coming out with all the swag. We coming out with all the sauce. I studied both sidelines in this game. Bama's sideline looked like it was a pallbearer at a funeral. Vanderbilt sideline, them jokers jumping, screaming, spitting, foaming at the mouth. Like, I'm like, guys, where were we? Like, where was Alabama? Like, where were we? I'm like, where were we at for real? Because I'm looking at this game like, how in the world are we looking like we at church going, kumbaya, God, kumbaya? And they like, we finna kill these folks. Like, yeah. That's what I saw.
See, I think that's very interesting in a lot of ways, right? Stephen M. Smith, you talk about the 12 for 18 on 3rd downs. Well, on those other times they didn't make it on 3rd down, guess what? They got it on 4th. So that it's nothing. We just could not get off the field, not one stop against Vandy. Literally, it was crazy. JB, man, recap that game last night. We talked about the third downs. We talked about the fourth downs there. I told you time of possession. There's a lot of stats you can look at for this game. I mean, and if you look at total yardage, they're almost even. They had us beat though. I mean, but it wasn't by a lot. But the total yardage was almost the same. But yeah, man, how we feeling about this?
Man, it's hard to follow that rant that Stephen M just went on.
Yeah, that is hard because he just laid it out.
Yeah. And Stephen, you were there, so man, it's good to hear from you who was actually there.
I mean, I was, yeah. I mean, I was there, and it's like, it's one thing when you have a whole bunch of like mistakes, turnovers, and you get beat. It's another thing when the opposition puts together a game plan, you can't stop it at all. Our defensive front got no push on none.
But they didn't try to stop it, Stephen M. I'm sorry.
That's the thing. They didn't try to. The only person.
Where was the adjustment?
Yeah, the only person defensively that had any recollection of a pulse that I saw was Q Robinson. That was the only one.
He had a great.
He had a couple tackles for loss. We didn't let him get out there.
A lame call for that hit up high, man. It was a freaking tap, dude. It was a freaking tap, man.
And so there were so many points in the game where I'm looking squarely at Malachi Moore and Jihad Campbell, and they looked confused.
Sab did on that 4th and 1 touchdown.
They looked flat out confused. And
yes.
and my direction goes right to Kane Wommack. What did you do in practice? What did you rep? How did you prepare? Did you have the personnel necessary to contain this?
I did hear Stephen Smith. He talked about this, about having to run a lot of man to fill the gaps or something against Vandy, which we've ran some man this year, but we haven't ran as much as we ran. And I'll tell you right now, that 4th and 1 play, Moore and Sab was beat over the top by that Vandy guy through the middle that caught that one by the fingertips and pulled it in. Look back at it, man. Moore was in position. Sab was over the top. That play should have been covered. It should have been a pick, honestly. But it was, I don't know what we're doing. We're like Marshall said in the group chat, he talked about we're getting killed in the misdirection. It's like a high school team was running triple option on us, and we never adjusted to it, and we're following all the eye candy. We were following every eye candy play they gave us. It's like it was almost like that Georgia Southern when it's almost that same type of freaking offense.
But it's so simple though. All you have to do is put another linebacker in the game. You take out a DB, you put another linebacker in the game. You have an actual free safety who covers one side of the field. Like it was so simple that it was so frustrating.
I want to hear Wes' thoughts on this right here. We've all chiped in. That's tonight, Wes. We're a little chipey, as you can tell and understand a little bit. So let's hear it real quick.
I was there last week.
Wes. Yeah, our man Wes. Let's hear it real quick, man. How do you feel about the recap on the Bama Vandy game?
Well, it's sort of weird. So part of me is like, what did Vanderbilt have that we don't? Why couldn't we have success against Bama like that, right? And really the main thing that just sticks out in my head is they had a mobile quarterback. Obviously, you all have alluded to it already. Is the freaky kind of offense that they're running that you really don't prepare for, and when you do face them, you just sort of hope you can get through it so you can get back to a normal offense the next game. So that was my main takeaway. Is just it's obviously a weird style. You guys have already talked about the adjustments that needed to be made that weren't. I don't know why. I'm sure that's a conversation that they're having right now. But historically, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like Bama, like Georgia in a lot of ways, has struggled against mobile quarterbacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And obviously Vanderbilt used a lot of option RPO misdirection to keep them back on their heels. So Obviously, Vanderbilt made big plays on the defensive side too in this one. You're right. The pick six was kind of a weird, freakish thing. Obviously, that's sometimes you just have to scratch your head and go, man, was this meant to be? Sometimes, because it was just so strange. And then obviously the strip sack fumble was huge too in the second half. I mean, credit to Vanderbilt. They came to play. Obviously, we just had a Vanderbilt guest on the show this past week, and after what just happened, he may want to be on the show every week because it's like a good luck charm or something. But he made the case that, on one hand, you could say that going into this game, Vanderbilt could have been 4-0. Obviously, they had some bad losses themselves. Of course, on the other side of that, you could say they could have been 1-3 coming in because there were some other things that happened on the other side. So I don't know. Part of me is like, man, this Vandy team might be, for real and better than we thought. Obviously, I think Bama went into it with a little bit of an emotional hangover. Huge win the week before, no question. It's easy to happen. And so a mixture of all that, I think is really what sort of happened here. So I don't know. I loved what Clark Lee had to say in that one of the hardest things that he's had in this job is to get rid of that mentality of Vandy's just destined to fail, right? And that's what people have come to expect, even the players to a certain extent there. It's like, when are we going to, even if we're up big against a big opponent, when are we going to screw it up, right? And part of the challenge that he was talking about is to get rid of that mentality. So, I don't know if it's been gotten rid of, but man, this is a huge step forward in that effort for sure.
I will say this. I take my cap off to Clark Lee. I really do. Him, his offensive coordinator, Timothy Beck. Timothy Beck had a game plan that was one of the best I've seen. Even when it got to a point to where Kane Wommack had somewhat recollection of, I know what they're going to do, Timothy Beck threw a wrinkle in there, and it offsets you again. Whether it was a shovel pass, a misdirection, throwing the ball out of it. Timothy Beck put something in there to offset Bama time and time and time again. So I give Clark Lee all the credit. I give Timothy Beck all the credit. I give Diego Pavia all the credit for the confidence that he showed. The main thing the main concern I have is when you look at Alabama, where was the focus? Where was the energy? Most importantly, where was the pride and the fight to want this game? Because the moment where I remember when Alabama stepped off the bus, people would pee their pants. God, we got to play Bama. That's not happening now. Like Vanderbilt stepped off the bus and was like, we got to play Bama. Let's go. We can take Bama. We got Bama. Let's go. Mm-hmm. That type of edge and confidence that Vandy had going into that did not happen. That's my concern with Alabama right now is when does that edge and confidence return?
Well, let me say this. We've beaten Vandy for 40 years. 1984 is the last time they beat us. 23 straight times we've been whooping their ass. The bully is going to get beat up eventually.
You are right.
It just took 40 years for the bully.
Take a lick. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was time. We was due for our ass whooping.
Yeah.
I would say that. Remember
how long did Florida beat Kentucky, bro? How many years was that?
Man,
it was a while, and then Kentucky got them. So yeah.
Just like when we beat Tennessee, 15 times in a row, and they got us, and they took the goal post and threw it in the ocean. See
that's a Tennessee thing.
That's a Tennessee thing. So
when they beat Bama, that's a Tennessee thing.
So it was due. And
did we storm the field against Georgia after we beat them? I can't remember.
No, we
didn't. Yeah, because Bama comes in with the mindset of expecting to win, no matter who it is.
Yeah, we don't storm.
To the fans, to the water guy, and everything in between. So yeah. So to kind of switch gears though, right there, that was kind of recap, guys. Playoff hope still alive, a little in danger now. Also, guys, if you are watching this on Twitter right now, Twitter, X, whatever you guys want to call it nowadays, make sure you click on the Bama Standards page. Go
Yes,
to that
sir.
link to the YouTube channel, subscribe, like it. We have a bunch of shows on here. Shows almost every day of the week. We have videos, live, shorts. You get the best reactions, fan reactions from your boy. Those are some good ones. We got some good ones this week. Yeah, people are asking about the Vandy reaction video with me. Yeah, I was upset. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. I was upset. That one hurt. That one hurt. It did. My soul, man. My soul. But, yeah. And we're gonna kind of move on topics there. So I feel like we're gonna move on to one that I want to talk about the most right here. Fixing the defense. No pressure from the defensive line. The linebackers playing flat. No in-game adjustments. DBs, do we need to switch some things up? Do we need to look at some stuff here? There's a lot to look at. We talked about people playing with heart. People talk about that Malachi Moore play at the end when he kicked the ball. I wish 10 other guys felt like that too. I'm sorry. I wish 10 other guys felt as mad as he did about that, because everybody should have been real pissed off about that. There shouldn't have been no laughing. There better not been no playing on the buses, no nothing like that. That's the type of stuff, man. You don't do that. Malachi Moore was mad because we should not have been in that position. We should not have been in that type of situation. Yet we was. So that's I felt that frustration when he did that. I was like, I feel that. JB, what do you think is going to fix this defense, man? What do you think we need? Do we need more pressure? We need to move people around, man. How we feeling, man?
Yeah, I mean, the first question I would like to ask is, do we have the right personnel for this 4-2-5 defense? Because think about it, these guys were recruited to play Saban's defense. This is a whole new defense. This is a whole new staff. So do we have the right players to fit the scheme? That's question number one. Question number two, do the guys have the heart? Do they really want to play? Do they really want to win? Because if you let Georgia almost come back and beat you, then you get 40-pieced by Vandy, who you normally beat Vandy by 50 points. You normally beat the dog crap out of Vandy every time you play them. But for some reason yesterday, you couldn't stop them. And no adjustments were made. And we all know that. I see the people in the chat. Y'all go ahead and vent. This is a vent session. Go and put them out there. Y'all got questions. We'll get to the questions later. But those are some really good questions, man. Are these guys the right guys for the system? Like you guys mentioned, I think we need 3 linebackers out there. And then you got all these DBs. They're going to run the ball. They ran the ball. They didn't do anything spectacular yesterday. They ran about the same 7 or 8 plays. They got in the damn wishbone. The wishbone, and beat Alabama playing in the wishbone in 2024. That's crazy. That's the most embarrassing. And I know we say it in embarrassing laws. This more of an irresponsible loss to me, because coaching staff, you did not have these guys prepared to play Vanderbilt, who is a running team. You know this quarterback. You should have known this. Vandy was prepared. They had a bye week last week. They watched Georgia game. They prepared for this, and they stood on business, and they whooped our ass. We didn't beat ourselves. We had the pick 6. We had the sack fumble, but we had plenty of opportunity. But I'm going to say this right here. I'm going to pass it on. The week of the Georgia week, the offense left the defense on the hook in the second half because they could not move the ball. Yesterday, the defense left the offense on the hook because they couldn't get off the damn field.
Yeah,
I absolutely love
was out there.
I'm just gonna, because I'm about to have to unfortunately go. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Bust out. We'll go ahead.
But I absolutely do think we have the personnel for it. But the part that confuses me, I never saw a blitz on a blitzing down. It confused the hell out of me. Like, you know what they're gonna do. If they're not gonna run it, they had 4 or 5 shovel passes that went for 20, 30 yards. They had if they had the double option where if he could have ran it, making the defensive end guess where he was going to go, or he did the sideline screen pass that got him 5 or 6 yards because they always had a positive play. It made no sense. The edges weren't containing. The only time I ever saw them run 3 linebackers is whenever Malachi Moore came in, and that was at the end of the game when it didn't matter anymore. It blew my mind that you waited so long. At some point, I'm gonna throw the entire defensive playbook away and just start calling stuff to see if anything can get us off the field. Well, I think I saw one time they were like 16 for 21 on 3rd down. Like, how is that possible? Like, regardless of what defense you have. Okay, cool. Stack the box. You have 11 people on the field. I don't care if 7 of them are DBs. Stack the damn box. Who cares? You know what they're going to do. How many times they threw deep that, like, what, 4 times? That's it?
Yeah, it was nothing deep. And his arm wasn't going to hurt you down the field at all. So that shouldn't have been nothing they was worried about. Fixing the defense right here, though, I think it's going to take, like you said, Marshall, that it should have had you threw the playbook away at some point. Cool.
Like,
none of this is working. Okay, so hey, let's try a 4-3 real quick and see what we get out of it. And what if we get some pressure? Maybe we dial something up now. You know,
but where was a blitz? Where was a safety or a corner blitz? Something to throw them off of their groove.
They were too much in man on the corners. It was too much. There was too much man in my opinion.
Cool. That's what you got. That's what you got a 5-star safety that won a national championship last year for.
And he looked dead on that 4th and 1 play, dude. Malachi, he was the one over the top. Malachi was the one underneath. They should have been a sandwich with him in the middle. That should have been a pick or incompletion, you know. So,
and then
really
the downage. And then, like, the way that Vandy never let go of the momentum the entire game, as soon as they got the pick 6, it was Vandy all the way.
Yeah.
Maybe minus the Ryan Williams insane sideline catch. But that was, like, insane. But I love y'all very much. I have to go handle this.
Yeah, we'll see, Marshall.
All right, brother.
My man, West, fixing Alabama's defense. I know, obviously, you're a Georgia fan here. But what would you think, you know, some adjustments may be needed? Would you try something new in game? Kind of like Marshall said, because I felt like I would have at some point yesterday, regardless of the competition.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with everything that's been said so far because, like you said, what you're doing is not working. At some point, you got to throw something else at it. And, you know, like they said, stack the box. If they throw on you, they throw on you. Make them beat you that way at least, you know, the first time, and then maybe adjust to that if they start throwing it more. So that's what I got. But so my wife's an Alabama fan. Most of my in-laws are Bama fans. I've been around Bama football a lot, you know. But what I do have a question, and I don't know if it's like an adjustment to the defense that needs to be done, or is it something deeper, which we saw kind of with Malachi Moore. You saw it a little bit with some of the dancing in the end zone when they were still losing. Is this an adjustment that needs to be made as far as the culture goes? Because I was not there. I wasn't present with my in-laws when they were watching the game. But I guarantee you when Bama was dancing in the end zone and they were still losing to Vandy at that point, I guarantee you there was a "what are you doing" said or something like that. And I just want to kind of get y'all's opinion. Is that something that you're seeing that I know we've seen a little bit under the Saban regime, but is that something that needs to be tended to if you're DeBoer?
So, you know, I was so into the game, I didn't even pay too close attention when we was because I was celebrating when we scored. But, you know, that's part of the fan in me. But that's so fair. I will say that is definitely something to look at. I would say possibly, and I know fans are going to have their opinions on that. But when you're hyping the moment, you know, I feel like obviously you score a touchdown, it's hard to just set the ball down and walk off field. All those emotions bottled up. Right. I just think there should be like an appropriate celebration, if that makes sense. So, like, I scored, you know, it's one of those things that, like, no, I shouldn't probably be doing, you know, the two-step, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, like, I mean, I would be
excited, but then it's back to business, right?
Yes. Like, I'd turn around at the fans. I ain't gonna lie. I would. I'm that type. I'd be pointing at the fans or something. I'd be like, shh. You know, but that's just, you know, my thoughts on that. JB would definitely have a good opinion on this one right here, too. How would you feel about that, JB?
Well, I think it's just part of the culture, man. It's not an Alabama thing. They do it all over the landscape, all over college football and NFL. You down damn 21 points, and you gonna jig, you gonna get your me the spotlight is on me moment. When you score a touchdown, you gonna take that chance because you know the TV cameras paying in close on you when you score a touchdown. You gonna get that dance. You gonna do your TikTok in the end zone when you score a touchdown. It's just in you. That's the new era of the league. Now, I saw Derrick Henry score a touchdown today, and he just got up, gave the referee the ball, and went and go sat on the sideline because he done scored 100 touchdowns. That's the difference.
I was about to say. Yeah, I was about to say. Now he scored his 100th.
He got 100 touchdowns in his career.
I counting his 100 at Bama, his 100 at high school. Like, I mean, the dude has been.
The man got 1,000 touchdowns, so it's nothing to him.
Yeah.
But think about it. It's kids. It's kids. They're gonna celebrate. They're gonna do what they want to do because it's I got to shine on y'all real quick. But I understand you may want to chill out, especially when you're down. It's late in the game. It's a crucial moment. Ain't no need for all that. But
because if you looked at Milroe at the end, JB, if you saw Milroe at the end of the game, man, he was sitting there, bro, and he was just like you could just see it in his face, bro, that he was just like, this really happened. Like, this just – and I felt the same way. I'm sitting here looking at the TV like, this really just – like, I just woke up. Like, and I got on to my wife because we're in here, and she's talking about going to the grocery store right after the game. I'm like, no, you're not. And I was like, don't say that. Like, I don't like that. Like, don't say that. And then boom, this happens. And this is why I was like, I'm superstitious. I was like, you don't say that. When I changed my jersey, I went from Williams to Milroe. The next play, Milroe to Williams, bro, down the sideline. So tell y'all now, bro, the jersey changes work. All right, they work. It didn't control the whole game, but it controlled that moment. But real quick, Don Parker with a super chat real quick. This team had to learn the hard way while playing to a standard. Opponent is important. Also applies to the coaching staff. Let's keep it 100. Yesterday was pathetic.
Yes, it was.
Don, you are not going to hear one argument out of me. Now, I play decent. The offense played defense, in my opinion. Now, there was some times we couldn't get the ball going, but we were playing good. The fluke pick six was a little, that ain't really Milroe's fault, but, like it was timing of the hit with Williams catching it, so can't be too upset about that. And you can't blame the whole game on one play. There's a lot of things that come down to that play. So, I'm with you, Don, 100% right here, man. Make sure y'all leave us questions in the comments. We're going to start those questions, and at the end of the show, us three will run through these questions with you guys. So that's kind of like the fix in the D right there. I think you will see some stuff this week. We play at 11 a.m. I think you will. Right before we get into that, though, JB, tell the folks who we sponsor by real quick before we get into the South Carolina preview.
Yeah, man. I keep the towel on me. So for all you folks, if you don't have a towel yet and you want to go to Brian Denny, save and feel at Brian Denny, support your team, get you one of these towels. Go to whitwheelsports.com. Use the promo code STANDARD. Get you a nice discount, courtesy of your favorite Bama network, the Bama Standards. Shouts out to Whitwheel Sports.
Yes, Whitwheel Sports, baby. Whitwheel Sports. That's where it's at, guys. So, moving on. South Carolina preview right here, 11 a.m. There's a lot to take in here. We can talk about how bad they looked this past weekend. We can also talk about how they've looked good. Rocket Sanders is one of my favorite players in college football right now. He's elusive. He gets East Coast to West Coast, North and South too. Like the guy's all over the field. He can do anything, 1 through 4 downs, however you want him. And he can play wide receiver, running back. They might have him at quarterback some. I'll just be honest. So we'll see how that goes. But slowing them down is a big thing. I don't think we need to be 1-0 this week, and we do not need to look ahead at Tennessee the following week. So JB, let's break this down real quick. How are we feeling about the preview of South Carolina? And do we have any concerns going into this one? I think we do. I think that question's easy. But how we feel about this?
This game could go either way. I think this game is going to check our temperature. Meaning, are we going to come out there hungry enough? Are we going to come out there and try to dominate South Carolina, which is another lesser opponent? Or are we just going to be out there trying to fix stuff on the fly instead of fixing it in practice this week? You out there trying stuff, and this team is close, and the game is close. And you may lose this game if you sleep on South Carolina. If you don't put the work in this week at practice, and you go out there this early kickoff, and you go out there trying to try new stuff, you need to be trying it in practice. Y'all need to be ready on Saturday, which they should have been ready in Nashville yesterday, but that's neither here nor there. I'm done talking about it. But we got to move forward. We got to look at this game as a get-right game. You got to execute. We have to run the ball. We hadn't been running the ball. And if you go look at the numbers of our rushing stats, this ain't Alabama football. It's not Alabama football. I mean, you got Jam and Justice gets 6-7 carries. We aren't even running the ball. We normally run the ball 40-50 times as a team for 200-300 yards. We're not doing that. And I understand that this new offense is more of a pass-happy offense. I know it's more focused on Jalen Milroe and his ability to pass the ball and also his running ability. But you got to get those running backs involved. You got to get those tackles. Y'all need to get some push. Get some push, man. It's not going to – this is a long season. This is SEC football still. So you have to have balance. You have to play SEC ball. And I don't think we play SEC ball yet. I haven't seen it. We need to get back to that SEC ball, and I think it starts.
What's that saying, JB? They say Golden State got the saying a lot. Live by the 3, die by the 3.
Yeah.
I almost feel like that's our offense right now. Living by the fly ball, dying by it too, because there's times where Bernard, bro, let's talk about catch of the year, bro.
Oh, yeah.
That catch on the sidelines, dude. Oh, that was.
That's the thing,
whatever.
JT. We can't get behind and think we're going to strike our way back in the game like we did yesterday. We had
every time.
Yeah, and then what happens? We had momentum. Then Miro gets sacked, strip fumble, take all the momentum away. I promise you, if we would have went down there, took the lead right then, because the game was tight.
Yeah.
It was a tight game out late. But when we lost that fumble, they went down there and scored a touchdown. I said, we in trouble. We in trouble.
Yep.
And then guess what? We go down there and score again. They get the ball, and they don't let up off of it again. So that's your ball game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was worried about that one. West, we're going into South Carolina this week. Who's Georgia play this week?
Georgia has Mississippi State.
State. Oh, okay. Yep. That'll be is it at Athens, or y'all going over?
It's in Athens. It's 4:15 on SEC Network.
Okay. Sounds good. So real quick, let's talk that South Carolina. Bama's coming up with South Carolina, 11 a.m. Do you feel like there's any concerns you would see on this right here? Do you feel, Bama should – is there anything we should be changing, anything we should be looking at? I talked about Sanders, how good he was. 11 a.m. games are tricky sometimes too, man.
Yeah. I love Rocket Sanders. He's great. I tell you who's another one that I really like. He gives them a chance to win more games than they typically would. However, I think, like it's already been said, I think this is where you find out who Bama is. How do they respond? We've seen Bama coming off a big win. We've seen them, when things are going great. Now, what do you do when things aren't? I think that they respond the right way. I think there's a lot of conversations. We've already talked about, possible culture issues, but I think that's being addressed. I have confidence that they'll kind of right the ship against South Carolina this week. They got too much talent, and South Carolina's, not quite the same type of offense as well. So from that standpoint, it's a little bit different as well. So, I don't foresee Bama having any issues this week.
And what Sean said right there, said we need Law back soon. Yeah, we do. Tell you why. down the field blocking. That man blocks people into the stands. I think that's another big issue, JB. We talk about the run game and why I don't, and why, well, two reasons, two-faced card here. Vandy was up so big we couldn't run the ball a lot. So and then the crazy thing, when we did want to run the ball, it was when there was 5 minutes left to go in the game. And I was like, why are we running the ball in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes? Now we need to be airing it out every play. Because if we don't catch it, then it's incomplete. Clock stops. Instead, we're getting 2 or 3 rushing yards, which, I mean, I get it. You know, sometimes 5. And we were chipping away. It took 2-3 minutes off the clock. And I'm just like, why? So, you know, JB, the touch back on it, I think it's going to be a sensitive subject for us Bama fans. That's no lie. But this is going to bring me into our next topic, talking about that a little bit. South Carolina, to round that up, it's going to be a good game this weekend. I think Bama gets it. I think Bama's going to bounce back big in this one. I think Bama's going to be like a 38-23 type game. I think we hold it down. They'll score late to make it look a little bit better. But I think Bama's going to get it right at home stadium this week. There's no way it goes back to back and we see that again. There's no way Wommack will get run out of Tuscaloosa. It will be bad. It will be bad.
It's
we
over.
all know that. It will be bad, bro.
We lose this game, it's over, man. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. We lose this game.
To move forward real quick, DeBoer losing to Louisiana Monroe. Not DeBoer. I just said that wrong. Nick Saban lost to Louisiana Monroe, and to compare that into DeBoer's Louisiana Monroe game, or you can flip this a little bit here. West, I'm going to let you elaborate on this one real quick because you told me a funny little thing earlier in the text. About 2016, Kirby first year at Georgia, they take a loss to Vandy. Obviously, I get it. Bama's team is way more stacked this year than that 2016 Georgia team. I get those. I know people are going to say that first. I get that. But new coaching staff all around the board almost. We retained, like, what was it, JB? Like 3 or 4 guys, maybe 5. Mm-hmm. Nothing crazy. Like, it wasn't like a whole lot of guys. You know, we retained a couple guys. But West, elaborate on that 2016 game and then bring that into this DeBoer's kind of, you know, match that up right there.
Yeah, so I don't know if funny is the word I would use to describe it, but yeah, I was actually there in 2016 with my son in the stands, you know, just enjoying a nice homecoming game against Vandy, and we lost that one, Kirby's first year. And yeah, I wouldn't say that Georgia has the talent or had the talent then that Bama does now, but also Mark Richt, when he got fired, he didn't leave, you know, the cupboard bare. I feel like Georgia had some talent then too. My one difference between those two scenarios is I think Georgia fans were pretty much done with Mark Richt at that point, and we're just ready to move on. And so obviously Kirby, we were all excited to have Kirby there. Like, he's an alum, people excited about that. So I think there was a little more of a buy-in and an understanding that, hey, we're just going to have to kind of sit through this process a little bit. And yeah, there's going to be bumps in the road. And so that is one difference that I see here in Bama. I think that to a certain extent, Bama fans knew there was going to be a difference. I mean, it'd be unrealistic to think. I mean, you can't just replace the GOAT and expect nothing to change, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't know if there's the same amount of patience, might be a good word here, where if we start to see, you know, cracks in the armor, there might be a little more of a tendency to panic. But certainly, I mean, I'm here to say that it's not the end of the world. I'm sure it seems that way right now, but you know, DeBoer will adjust. Obviously, he's got his own path to take in terms of working through adversity, and I'm sure he'll, you know, be accepting of advice. Obviously, like you said, Saban's been there. I know they talk a lot, and he'll get advice from him. You know. Selfishly, as a Georgia fan, do I hope that this is, you know, a sign of maybe weaknesses to come? Sure, but that's unrealistic. I think that we are just going to see this be kind of a blip on the radar, and things kind of improve from here. Certainly, I know Kirby and Saban have both said in their careers, you know, sometimes it takes a game like this to show you what you need to work on. And, you know, sometimes you get away with it and you get a win still, sometimes you don't. and this time they didn't. And hopefully, you know, if you're a Bama fan, you hope they learned from this. So
I know there ain't a Tennessee fan in this chat talking, boy. Arkansas and Vandy is like ketchup and mustard. It ain't too much of a difference, bro. They both condiments, all right, dog. Just got piped down because you had 14 points against Arkansas, okay? Our defense might shut y'all out. All right? You better chill out, all right? You had 14 points against Arkansas, so calm down. That's no hate, man. I like, and it's no hate here, and I'm not gonna like, you know, hop on the Tennessee bandwagon. Tennessee's look good though. It's no hate. They other than last night. Now, last night they did not. Barring that, they've looked good this year. I'm excited for that game. I think the Tennessee Bama game is going to be a banger this year. So yeah. But I had to say that real quick, man. I don't like that because you just literally Arkansas just did y'all boys. So chill out. And I think their quarterback is legit a running back. He legit's a running back. Like he'll have. Be like, what, 13 for 41 passing and have like 18 rushes or something. The dude, Green, what's his first name? It's something Green. I cannot remember his name now.
Taylor Green, Arkansas?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, you know,
you know, JT, when the big dog go down, all the little puppies, they got to pounce. They got to pounce on the big dog when he goes down. So I expected this. I expected all the smoke from all the other teams in the SEC. But guess what? We went down last night, but everybody else went down with us.
A lot of teams went down.
We didn't go by ourselves. Oh, no. Yeah. We didn't go by ourselves.
Hey, a lot of teams we control our own destiny at 7. We control our own destiny at 7. Now, we don't need no help. We can make the playoffs just like Georgia at 5. And also, guys, I'm going to tell y'all something else. In about 2-3 weeks, you're going to get the real college football playoff rankings, which we all know they like to spice it up, and it is different than the AP. Every single time, the AP will slowly adjust their rankings to the college football rankings almost after it comes out. You'll start seeing that pattern change a little bit in a week or two, and those rankings will start mirroring almost theirs. But the college football rankings will be different. They'll take in consideration of Alabama versus Georgia, even though both have a loss. It's kind of crazy how, and it's no hate here at all, but the AP makes me question. I get we lost to unranked Vanderbilt, but how does Georgia 5th and we're 7 and we beat them? It's just one of those things. It's like, and we're October. We got to go another 2 months basically to decide who's really going to be 1 through 12. And I think it's going to be interesting. I think Georgia coming up with Texas and same week we play Tennessee, I believe. That's going to be interesting. What if Oklahoma beats Texas this weekend? What happens then? And then Georgia and Texas play both with 1 loss. Because then, listen, if Georgia and Texas both play with 1 loss and Bama and Tennessee play with 1 loss, these are elimination games for the SEC championship game. The SEC championship game, not the playoffs. All 4 of those teams will be en route for the playoffs probably. But the SEC championship game, you'll almost see the winner of those games will be on a collision course, barring them losing another one to Atlanta. So I think this could set up for an exciting football this weekend going into, next weekend. But we got to get through this weekend. I ain't no lie. But JB, real quick, man, before we end this topic, we get to the questions. We're going to hit those questions real quick. Hit the super chat real quick, brother.
Okay. Shouts out to Ryan Ware, man. $5. I feel like we started off vanilla on offense against Vandy. Change the D to 3-4 or 4-3 defense. Get some dogs on that D line. Let's eat. I agree with you, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know we talk about changing it, but we got to look at this. This is Wommack. His dad kind of much, orchestrated this 4-2-5 defense. I think we're kind of too deep to actually change the defense. Maybe we should throw some wrinkles in it.
Yes.
And but what we're saying is he has to adjust. He has to adjust because you cannot go the whole game getting your ass whooped. You don't make any adjustments at halftime.
Vandy.
You keep the same personnel, the same scheme out there without making any type of adjustments. That's not a good look.
You sound like me talking about Mike Bobo at Georgia.
Hey, dude, it's almost the same. You run the same 3 plays, I feel like, West, on offense sometimes.
Pretty much.
Your defense is great, but I can call Georgia's offense. If you line it up, I swear I could almost be like, I can tell you, all right, they're going weak side. They're about to go to
You're
this
saying
side.
exactly what I'm saying. I'm there like if I can predict it, I know the other teams out there can predict what's coming. If it's 3rd and 1, it's going to be like a run up the middle or a little, it's insane.
And I love ETN. He is great for you guys. He reminds me of Jahmyr Gibbs a little bit. Gives me his vibes out that backfield for you guys, and played really shifty yesterday too. So to give him some props there. Before we round this out though, JB, I do want to get your thoughts on this topic real quick because I didn't get your full. You kind of gave us we ran off a little bit right there, but give us your on this right here, DeBoer, Louisiana Monroe game.
I'm not gonna put any stock into it because I mean it's kind of it's different scenarios now. You know, Saban coming in and he's pretty much rebuilding Alabama. You know, the boy is trying to keep the standard up because we were just in the playoffs. We were a play away from going to tying the game, possibly going to the national championship. The boy took a team to the Natty, and he is used to winning. He doesn't lose a lot. You check his resume. This guy doesn't lose a lot. So I know you could just look at him yesterday. He felt dejected. You could just look at his face and just see the dejection all over his face. So now it's a gut check. You lost to the bottom of the barrel SEC team who has been terrible for years. So this is an embarrassment for you. Just like the Louisiana Monroe was an embarrassment. But Saban lost 6 games that year, didn't he? I think he was 7 and 6.
And it was at home. And it was at home.
Mm-hmm.
That was another one. It was at home.
Yeah. So I mean, we take it on the chin. We move forward. Now I'm looking like this. I know you say maybe we can lose 2 games. We should have this where okay, guys, y'all lost. Y'all took y'all lumps. You got embarrassed. We can't lose another game. Mm-hmm. We can't lose another game. I'm feeding my players that message each and every week. We can't lose another game. Every game is an elimination game here on out. That's what I'm feeding my players. I'm the boy.
And I was going to say we only got, with the Tennessee, LSU, Oklahoma really, and Missouri, Missouri's there too. They're lingering, but they kind of got, that may be a little suspect after this weekend, seeing that Texas A&M game. A little suspect.
Let me add to that before we move on, because what'll happen if we lose, we have 2 losses. You have 4 or 5 2-loss teams in the SEC toward the end of the year. They're gonna go off who you lost to.
At that point, I hope Georgia's like 12-1 or 11-1 at that point, so we can be like, hey, they're 1 losses to us, so we deserve to get in.
Yeah, but it's gonna matter.
That's why I want Georgia to keep. At this point, since we lost, all Bama fans will tell you right now, let Georgia keep winning. I'm sorry, because that's gonna be our anchor of like, hey, hold up, but they're losses to us, so remember that. Like we. We in this equation too. So
hey, Georgia loss helped us last year too. Well, I mean, Georgia kept winning. That helped us last year in the SEC championship when we beat them.
Because if I told people, everybody was, I want Georgia to lose. I said, no, you don't. We want them to be undefeated and we play them SEC. That's the only way we're going to be able to catapult in. If we beat the number 1 team, basically on a home game for them in the state of Georgia. I mean, Bama travels well to Atlanta, so I'll say
that's
that.
The only reason we got in last year.
It's a good 50-50 mix. Yeah, but that's the whole reason Bama got in, because of beating the Georgia Bulldogs.
Exactly.
I mean, that was that. Exactly. And Georgia played a great game. That was a classic SEC championship. I'm glad that was, Saban could go out and him have that, great SEC championship win there. But
you jumped FSU and they've been broken ever since.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what has happened down there. Hey, Bama fans, it could be worse. All right, just remember that. It could be worse. Okay, we lost to Vandy, but we could also, be FSU. All right, and that is not a good taste in your mouth right now if you're an FSU fan. I know a couple of them. But, Justin, let's run these questions real quick. Wes, at the end of the show, we always run questions from the chat that we had saved. They'll pop up here at the bottom. I'll go first, and I'll just I'll kind of give my answer on it, and then you'll do the next question by yourself, and then JB will go, and we'll just keep. We got, I think, about 6, 7 of them. Come on, real quick, Justin.
All right.
He said really bad. So let's see. If the players put as much effort in their dancing after a player touchdown, then we would be a better team. Tired of all this showing off. and I'll let your play speak for itself. It's kind of what Wes had asked us a little bit ago.
Yeah.
I agree to an extent, but like I said, there's a lot of emotions that come involved. Obviously, when you score a touchdown on that stage and you're coming back, obviously, I get you wanting to, be hyped for a minute, let those emotions out. But there's a difference in being serious and hype and celebrate and dance. I think there is a difference. So, I'm not telling nobody what to do because these are, young men of their own. But I would, if I was DeBoer, I will be dialing it back a little bit. I do agree, and we do need some more effort. There's lack of effort. Malachi Moore showed that frustration at the end of the game when he kicked that ball. He was very, very, very frustrated. And honestly, I'm not necessarily saying that was the coolest thing to do in that moment, but I wish 10 other guys felt like he did, though. Like, you won't, like, to an extent, you want that. You want some guys to be passionate. You don't need to be doing, pushing a ref down or something or, starting a fight. But that passion showed right there. When I saw that by Moore, I was like, yeah, man, that's why he stayed. Like, that's why he stayed. That's a true Bama. Like, that's why he stayed. Pull the next one up. Wes, get the next question for us.
Where is the heart, pride?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think we just sort of touched on it a little bit ago. I think you're going to find out this week. How do you respond to getting punched in the mouth unexpectedly? So, and like I said, I think they'll respond. I will be more concerned. I'm not concerned right now. I will be concerned about Bama if they don't respond well this weekend. If they just have the total wrong response and it's like a close game, then I would start worrying.
Yep. I might have the show next week from the ER in my hospital bed if that happens, okay? Because I don't know if I can take it again, Wes. I don't know if I can take this again, okay? JB, hit this next question, brother.
Amber Nicole, shouts out to Amber Nicole. Is there anyone currently on Bama's defense staff that can step up and take over as DC? Oh, my goodness. Amber already off the Wommack train.
Turn the man up.
I don't know. I don't know. Freddie Roach. I don't know. I mean,
Freddie Roach would be my next.
Yeah, but see, Freddie got to get his boys in line. He got to get that D line. But I'm telling you, I mean, we talking defense here. It starts up front. It starts with the D line. Yes. So we got to get some fight. Got to get some hard. Y'all got to get some pass rush, and y'all got to stuff the old line. Y'all got to stuff the run. So I mean, that's where it really starts at. And the back end is all about communication. So, to sum it all up, I don't think so. I think we just got to ride out with Wommack, let him fix it, but it's got to start right now.
Hey, Keed, I feel you what you said right there, man. You just said, he said Moore's reaction was how everybody should have reacted. It's that serious. I agree, too. It is that serious. Sean, can we shift the defensive line? Oh, that's a good one there. And I think a lot of people are talking about this, and I think this could be happening. I think I get Stephen and Smith talked about this before with Keon Keeley. And a lot of people have the question of where's Keon Keeley? Where's he at? We know how great he is. We've heard all the stuff. I think this is a time where, hey, let another guy get a rep. Let's see what can hurt right here. Yeah, what can hurt right here? Q plays good on the edge. Both Q and
Quay.
Quay and Q. I'm getting tongue twisted there. Quay and Q both play great on the edge. But mixing in something else wouldn't be bad. Also, like, who's to say we don't try that 4-3? Who's to say we don't try 4? Like, as a wrinkle, I'm not saying our base can be the 4-2-5, but Nick Saban had a base 4-3. But ran nickel with the 4-2-5 sometimes, depending on what we had going on, depending on who we was playing, what the scheme was. That's my thing with when they say 4-2-5. It's like, I think it can work, and I'm not against it. I think it's great. But the problem is that we got to have some other packages in there. We got to have some other packages. Another thing, man, it upsets me a lot with Bama nowadays, and a lot of teams, not just Bama. They don't get under center no more, dude. When you're on the half-yard line, Milroe's 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", something like that. He's huge. The quarterback sneak. I get he's gonna get hurt. Push. Put your guy on top of the quarterback, so then he can control what goes on with the quarterback then. Like, you don't have to worry about another guy kneeing them in the back or in the ribs or something like that if your guy's on them. Like the tush push, like JB said, man, the Eagles have laid a foundation for that. Milroe will make millions in the NFL if he goes to a team that allows him to do that right there. I mean, millions, because that's what it's came down to nowadays. That's a good question, though, Sean. It's a good question. I think you'll see it. To answer, round that back off, finish that off. I think you'll see some movement. You'll definitely see some this week. We'll see. Wes, real quick, let's get that. Pop in another one.
How do you have two players on the field with the same numbers?
Oh my God.
That's a coaching problem. Yeah, no, I get that too. Another thing that I would say with that is I know Bama's had a lot of issues with penalties this year too. I know that would also be a concern just from a discipline standpoint. Same kind of in line with this. But man, I know there's a lot of people, and this is, a Georgia fan talking, who's seen people, try to throw the baby out with the bathwater in terms of coaches many times. I think there's been a lot of blame placed on the coaches, on DeBoer already, man. Like, this is his first year. People just all ready to just say, hey, everything's over. Honeymoon's over. This is not going to work out. Yes, it is something that the coaches need to address, but I'm not ready to just say this isn't going to work out right now. So is it a coaching problem? Sure. But is it going to get addressed? I suspect it will. And it's not like this kind of thing happens all the time with Bama, but I know it was frustrating for sure in this past game.
Yeah. And let me say this too, man, because just last week we were praising the boy. We was praising him. Somebody, he's the next GOAT. Now we questioning them. And I knew this would happen as soon as Alabama loses a game, because this is what we do. This is what we do. So
I think it's Vandy. I think the Vandy part, man, has got me questioning more than anything, dude. Tennessee, if it was Tennessee, I would have been like, dang, okay. In Missouri, I would have been like, okay. But like Vandy, bro, like, God, that one hurt. I get it a little bit, JB. I get both sides of it, because I'm not saying I get it to the point of firing. No, that's
we can't be fickle like that though. We
can't also Kane Wommack, like. No, he don't need to be fired. I'm upset. He probably should have walked home to Tuscaloosa, but
he need to tighten his ass up. That's what he needs.
Yeah. I don't say fire the man. No, like timeout. But hey, now South Carolina coming to town this weekend. They give up 500 yards. There's gonna be some talks. I promise you that right now. I don't care what you say, bro. You can bet your bottom dollar there'll be some talks. They come into Tuscaloosa and drop 500 yards on us, and it's close like that. There'll be some talk. And I say it'll happen. They'd be tall. But all right, so Christian Love, let's see. This one embarrassing with the roster we have at Vandy style is hard to cover, so why don't we run it? Personnel, Vandy's athletes, the quarterback, it's way different than Milroe is, what he has going on. They're in a tricky offense. It's a bunch of misdirections. It's a bunch. You have a guy coming this way every play. You have a guy going that way every play. They don't run that offense every single week and every single play either. I've watched Vandy. They do that quite a bit, but they did it nonstop. The gas, that was the whole shebang Saturday. It was all misdirection every play almost. And inside shovel passes. Like, there was just things you don't see every week. Like Wes said, this is one of the things you kind of practice for it. You get you a scout team quarterback that week. He kind of plays the role and mirrors that guy, and you try your best and hope it works in the game. That it's one of those offenses. Georgia Southern, I'll go back to that. There was every Alabama player on that defense went to the NFL, multiple first rounds, and I think they had 300 plus rushing yards on us because they ran this wishbone misdirection offense in the backfield. We won that game, but we could not stop them. Saban was right. We couldn't say. It was like shit through a tin can. Like, he was like, it was
tin horn.
But yeah. Let's get some more questions in real quick. Justin. Yeah.
Why are we not consistently playing out studs like James Smith? He should never come off the field. I love James Smith, hometown kid, 334 Montgomery, Carver boy. I love me some James Smith and some Quay Rousseau. I don't know why we have so much and that's a good question, because we have so much talent on that defense. There's no way in the hell we should have gave up 40 points to Vandy. There's no way in the hell we should look like we look yesterday and in that second half against Georgia. A lot of that is because of effort and it's because of coaching. So you can't just blame 100% on coaching. You have to blame the guys for their effort as well. So if guys aren't showing the effort, sit their ass on the bench and bring somebody else that wants to play in. Simple as that, because they all are 4 and 5 star. They all are talented. So just play who wants to play. Play who's going to give us the best chance to win.
I agree 10 million%, brother. 10 million%. Let's see what we got here. Question.
Where's the run
Wes,
game?
get this one for us. Yeah.
Get momentum, then it's back passing. So that one first. Yeah. So first of all, can I just tell you how painful it is as a Georgia fan to see Justice Haynes, son of Veron Haynes in an Alabama uniform.
Uniform, yeah. I know.
I get it these days, NIL, all that stuff.
Good too. Yeah.
So, I don't know. And we were just kind of talking about this, about, where are the Derrick Henrys, the Mark Ingrams, there's guys like that who are running the ball. But to your point earlier about this being a different style offense that's being run now, DeBoer's putting his own stamp on it. I think that's a lot of what you're seeing with the run game as well. And there's a lot more chunk plays, which, like you said earlier, you live by it, you die by it. It actually worked. Vandy's strategy in this game, and Clark Lee was even saying it, was to, control that time of possession, give Bama as few possessions as possible. And that's a big reason. I mean, think about how amazing it is that Bama scored, 35 points in 17 minutes.
Yes.
I mean, so that just kind of goes to show how that style of offense is working this year. So, I mean, obviously it works well, but it's fast. They're scoring quickly. So it doesn't always create a great environment for the defense. They're on the field a lot. So I don't know what can be done to, fix things on defense. I'm not really sure. I would probably defer to y'all on that one, but yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts?
I would move some guys around. Definitely. We've talked about that already on a couple questions. JB has mentioned defense line with James Smith. I think that's somebody we should see more of, number 23. Also, I saw some Beyonce Pierre in there the other night too. So I did see some rotation, okay? And there was a play. It's one of those things, I don't like to do this. I'm not a nitpicky fan. But there's a couple times when a quarterback rolled out. They called it on us, though. But they had our outside guy right here every time. And I know there's holding every play. That happens every play, guys. Newsflash, so everybody knows. There's a hold every play. It's when they pick and choose to call it. And sometimes that upsets me. Sometimes you get the good side of that. Sometimes you get the bad side. I feel like Bama got a couple of the bad sides in that. And I'm not trying to complain on a call. Good game to Vandy. I don't even know if I said that yet. But I've said it on plenty of social media platforms. It's a great game to Vandy. It's no excuses. Y'all play great. Hats off to you, bro. Y'all play great, man. Y'all came to play. The students was hype. Players was hype. Stephen Smith earlier talked about the number 6 guy talking cash money the whole pregame and throughout the game. They was ready to play. Bama was not. The coaching to everybody. We ate the rat poison, guys. We ate the rat poison. Do we got any more questions, Justin?
I'm sure Nick Saban, a few weeks ago, he said every stadium is hard to play in except Vandy's. He said that
they have made that on so many memes now.
Yeah, so I'm sure they took that to heart as well. So they were more than prepared. Let's put it like this: they were more prepared for us than we were prepared for them.
Yep, it was one of those things, I think, and also JB mentioned this earlier. We'll just go back to it, and I'll get this question from Don. He talked about what was that, 1984, 23 times we played them.
40 years.
I mean, hey, dude, like they're bound to get popped. Kentucky, Florida beat Kentucky for so many years, and Kentucky popped them for a couple years in a row. And then Ohio State beat Michigan for so many years. Eventually, Michigan's like, that's a little bit different though than this one, but you get what I'm saying. Over time, man, you get popped in the mouth eventually. Don, question for the panel. If you understand how the University of Alabama works, we all know that DeBoer's seat just got very warm yesterday. Can this team really get right for the rest of the season? Okay, so I don't think it got warm as much. I get what you're saying. I think it raised an eyebrow. I don't think it did that yet because, I mean, there's a lot of good going on, but there's a couple screws need to be loose. The standard obviously needs to be in place. Principles, values, integrity, all those type of things need to be talked about, especially the integrity part. What does integrity have to do with it? Integrity has to do with what you control and what you do when nobody is watching. That is what I consider integrity. So are you not getting your body right for the game? Are you out late and then that's causing your performance to be bad for your team when they rely on you? Are you not studying film and you're worried about Fortnite? I'm not saying none of that's happened. I'm not pointing fingers at nobody. I'm just stating that we do need – there needs to be something, some accountability, some integrity in there. It needs to be something. And I think we'll get it. I think everybody needs to calm down. I think we'll handle South Carolina this weekend. And then we roll into the big dog, Tennessee. We got to go to them, though, guys. We got to go to Tennessee. And like I said, there's some big games this weekend, too. You got Oregon and Ohio State going at a top 5 matchup. That's going to create some wiggle room and stuff, too. And then right after that, you got Georgia and Texas playing. And then you got Bama and Tennessee. So, I mean, there's going to be some movement in the next 2 weeks, guys. So, that's why I said this number 1 spot's cursed. It is cursed. I don't care. That's why I said watch out for Oklahoma this week. And if I'm right, Justin, I want you to pull this clip back and post it because I'm telling you, the number 1 spot is cursed. If Oklahoma beats Texas, just know I'm telling y'all. It's been a great show, guys. We're going to round it out tonight. Wes, I want you to let the people know where they can find you at in your podcast once more time. And we thank you so much for coming by the Bama Standard Channel. And you're an awesome guest. And if you want to have me back on the show soon, let me know. Me and JB could probably make a guest appearance together, maybe.
Yeah, man. No, I really appreciate the invite. It's been a lot of fun talking with you guys. I really appreciate it. We are at Pigskins and Pageantry on most handles. I think on X, we are PPSEC podcast. But we are at Pigskins and Pageantry most everywhere. And like I said, we just enjoy just sitting around. The vibe we're going for is just, 3 friends of different fandoms, just chilling, talking football. We give each other a good ribbon from time to time, but it's all good natured. So nothing too crazy. So really appreciate you having me on once again. So thanks.
Oh yeah, man. And I'm glad you came on too. I'm glad you came on, man. I thought about it the other day when I saw your post and oh buddy, I can't remember his name. You were like, oh well, that ends up the games for this week. He was like, no, Wes, we got to talk about it. And it was the Bama Georgia game. You were like, well, that's it, guys. We don't need to talk about anything else.
About that one.
And that's I was like, oh, West. But I'm not, I'm not a huge jump talker. I just, it's one of those things. You got to poke, say roll tide, or go dogs.
Gosh, the way Bama's been with Georgia lately, it's sort of one of those things where I just expect the worst and hope for the best, man. So,
dude, the Bama Georgia games are always a classic, man. I don't care what nobody says. Those games are always classic. Like the Alabama LSU's. When LSU's got that team, it's always a classic game. So I think Georgia's there too. JB, let the folks know what you got on. My man, in case y'all don't know, man, my man JB be all over. My man got like 47 talk shows. Man. He's on all the shows on the channel. My man is getting around. Justin calls me the hardest working man in show business. I don't think I'm the hardest. I think I do work hard. I give you that. But my man JB now. JB, tell the folks what you got going on.
Man, I say you 1A on 1B. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I accept that. But yeah, man, you can find me on social media. My Twitter is young_ENT_. You might see a couple posts that people have been beating me up on because I said we was gonna beat Vanderbilt and whatnot. But it's still blowing me up on that. But it is it is,
bro. I saw it.
Yeah, hey, I take my lumps. On Instagram, Sports Talk JB, and the YouTube channel Sports Talking with JB. And you can find me on Wednesday nights on the Crimson Dynasty with C. and Dan the Man. This Wednesday, I'm sure we're gonna get y'all ready for the South Carolina game. And I will be at said game this Saturday. And I want to check the temperature. I want to check the feel. I want to check see if that aura is still with the team. I got to get there up close and personal. So y'all just find me, man. Just holler at your boy when you see me. I'm all over the place.
Yes, sir, JB. And man, you got everything going on from Alabama State to Bama. My man talks about all types of stuff.
All the Alabama teams lost yesterday. All of them.
Yeah, we all took a loss, man. Tennessee took one with us too. It is what it is, man. Roll Tide, guys. We're going to move on, guys. Make sure you guys, I had a reaction video. It's at like 60+ thousand views right now on TikTok. JT, the Bama fan on TikTok, if you guys want to see it, they're eating me up too, JB, just so you know. I'm getting a lot of anchor downs right now. And they're going at me. They're talking about my jersey change. They talking about me. But, hey, look, man, I'm a passionate fan. I love the Tide. I love Alabama football. I also love SEC football, too. I'm a big SEC fan. So, you know, love SEC. Y'all guys have a good night. We rolling out tonight, baby. Don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide.
Still link, baby. Still link.
Yeah, big L's, baby.